Gamers, we got to cook this video. We have to cook, and there's a reason why. Okay, now before we get into the Clyde cooking conversation here, I want to let you know that I'm not speaking negatively. I just want to know what's going on. Okay, I'm very passionate about the game, so when events like this come up into the game, especially where I'm such low player base right now, charts showed that the past weekend, we all know that Arc Raiders is hot right now, but the charts showed that it dropped below 30,000 total across all platforms. So when we're in this much trouble, there's supposed to be an event that could like hype people up and have call to arms save the day, right? Well, there's no event. You couldn't even launch Pantheon right now. It still wouldn't save the game because we're in such a bad state. But today we signed on and we did call to arms, and I did my runs, and I know the camera's blocking right now, so I'll just hover over everything. I did a coil, it put me in the top 10%. I did a proving grounds, it put me in the top 10%. Salt mines, Helio, so I'm good. So pretty much I have this helmet unlocked, and a lot of people are like freaking out right now because they're like, Clyde, I'm not getting the same scores. Unfortunately, here's where the cooking comes into play. It's tied to power level, and this is the portals. The portal multiplier has always given you a better score if you're a higher power level. So when an event like this happens and people want to sign on and not only get this helmet, which you're probably easily going to get, you still have 10 days. There's plenty of time. Bungie might fix something, but to get this emblem, I don't think the emblem's that nice, but some people actually want to brag about being able to get a 1% emblem. If you don't have power level, you can't do it. So I'm going to show you an example here on why that happens. So right here, we have my buddies Perception and Venra. They were teaming together. They were running the Heliostat mission. Venra is a 550 power level gamer and put on modifiers for their score, which you see here, projected score is 2.1 million. Well, Perception's in the same fire team as him, but he's only getting a 1.7 mil. So theoretically, he's just screwed. Like, he's not going to get the same score as his teammate, and it's pretty annoying for that. Why would Bungie make it to where players that grind the game nonstop are always going to have a advantage over people that don't? Now, I know you're probably saying, well, Clyde, they're actually rewarding players that grind. You can't do that when the player base is at an all-time low. You can't. You have to encourage everybody to turn on the game and play it. It doesn't matter if someone is 300 power level. They should be like, oh, I just turned on the game and I got 300 free power level. I want to go get this helmet. It looks cool. But the portal is going to make it so they can't achieve the score. So that doesn't make any sense. Some players have ultimate difficulty unlocked, some players don't. And let me show you what this means. I can load into salt mines right now and jack my multipliers up like this because I have pressure cooker. Some people don't. I can run touche. I can run modifiers that people don't have. So my projected score is higher because I'm max power. And I just don't think that Bungie thought this one through. And it kind of irritates me because all I want to do is see the game do well. Now, is any of the weapons from the event worth it? I mean, no. I think you should get yourself a sword because the sword is it's a newer sword, so it's going to work in avant-garde and touche. And it comes with your edge attrition orbs. And attrition orbs is actually really nice because if you hit a boss a few times, you can proc an orb, get devour, you get frost armor, get whatever. It's just a really good sword. But to me, it's just these little cosmetics just aren't enough. Once people figure this out, because that's what everybody's searching right now. Everybody's going on YouTube, or they're typing on TikTok, or they're looking on Twitter, and they're trying to figure out how to get a higher score here. So currently today, Salt Mines has the Dread, and tomorrow it could be taken. So these scores might be able to go easier like you've seen in Guardian games in the past. So sometimes it might be easier and the scores might get jacked up, but how are the lower level players supposed to compete with people that have ultimate difficulty unlocked? Because if someone is 470 right now, they're capped at 470 in the ultimate difficulty. You're 30 below. So if you're 470, you can just load into ultimate and put the hardest difficulty, hardest multipliers, and you're going to get a better score. So now people are going to be freaking out that they're not getting 1% because they're encouraging to play. Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to turn on and have a shot. Now, I know you guys might call that a participation medal. I don't think so. I just think if the game was sitting on 600,000 daily players, Bungie could do whatever they want and make mistakes like this. But I don't know if you guys saw, there's an article going around. Literally, Sony lost over $200 million on their evaluation of Bungie because sales are down in the dirt. Now, again, that's an accounting problem, and we don't really know what's going to happen with that. But to me, you don't make a huge mistake like that. And that just shows that there's bad leadership. Obviously, less players are playing. People aren't interested in the game. Arc Raiders is hot right now. I mean, Arc Raiders is breaking records. Does Bungie think Marathon's just going to help the studio? I don't think so, because Arc Raiders is doing it so good right now that Marathon's just in my opinion, unless Marathon drops some PvE game mode that encourages people to go do that, because you got to understand that's a big topic right now in Arc Raiders. Can we have a PvE only mode? And the devs of Arc Raiders said, hey, we tried that. The game wasn't that exciting, so we added PvP to the excitement. Bungie might hear that and go, you know what? Let's just give them a PvE mode and let them fight bosses and add some mechanics like the Bungie way. I don't know if they're going to do that, but you know, with this, it encourages people to just, most of you are not going to turn on the game till Renegade because of seeing this slop. And again, I don't care about the rewards. I don't care about the top 1% emblem because this thing's terrible. Okay, the helmet's cool, but most people want a chance to unlock that helmet. But if you're not giving everybody a chance to unlock this helmet just because their power level's different, because the portal multiplier is bad, and by the way, it's always been like that. The higher power level you go, the easier it is to get your score, and it's always been like that. If you leveled since Edge of Fate, you understand that that's how the multiplier works. They could have changed it in some sort with this event. So the reason I'm making this video is so that you guys don't freak out that you're getting lower scores. Again, I can go over some multipliers with you to help go up to your scores and try and get better, but there's only so much you can do. Obviously, my goal here is to beat the 2.3 million, so I would have to just go in here and make sure that I'm trying to turn everything on possible. You know, if I can add here, I will. I already have starting ammo. I mean, there's not much more I can do here unless I looked at these multipliers and saw, hey, is there anything like a 4 or a 5? Not really. I would literally just have to make sure that I have every single multiplier on and try and do my best. And that's how you're going to get a high score. And that's all you can do. So literally, whatever difficulty you're playing on, Master, Grandmaster, or Ultimate, this is all you can do right now at the moment. I mean, that's it. Now, talking about these boxes, these lawless vouchers, you know, these are cool. They added them. It's going to drop tier 3 or higher new gear, weapon, or armor piece. You are earning them now, so you can pop them in Renegades, because you can't open them until the release of the next update. It says right here. And then it says every 4 open grants a consumable that guarantees a prime engram award for your next activity completion. So this is for the catch-up mechanic. This isn't for the players that are going into Renegades that are max power already. You see what I'm saying here? Stuff like this is cool. It gives people a reason to play and get these, but it doesn't jump off the paper. It doesn't make people think like, oh, I want to play. I want to sign on to Destiny right now. I want to go get that. If you've seen guns like this, as soon as Yeartide Apex dropped, everyone was like, oh my God, what is this thing? I need to get it. It was from Solstice. Everybody loved it because it had Chaos Reshape and it had a cool mod to come with it. You know, we were using Temporal Blast at first until they changed it, but you know what I mean? Like, this made people play. Then the sword came out for heavy metal, and everybody that missed out on this said, man, where'd you get that sword from? Oh, well, I just did an event. Oh man, I need to get that. Well, you can't get it no more right now. Damn, that sucks. It encourages people to sign on and get this, especially now. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to be stuff like what I just talked about, but like there's always been an impactful drop on the game, like Solstice did with the Yeartide Apex. Heavy Metal did with this sword. Super black shader in the past. So to me, when an event like this comes out, you're just going, oh well, it's just for the catch-up players, because that's what we thought when we were reading the article in the TWID about Call to Arms. We're like, it's just for players that don't have those weapons. But realistically, it's not for them, because the people that are missing the weapons are the low level people that aren't above 470 or about to be 470. But the people that are lower level, they can't hit the scores because they're not high enough power level to get these high multipliers. So pretty much what I'm saying is, when you're mentioning stuff like this in a event, it's not good enough to get players to turn on the game. But they're not talking about this in their TWIDs. They pushed their sandbox TWID back. They promised that last week. By the way, Bungie did just drop the Renegades weapon tuning preview, and yeah, you should give it a read. But again, that's not the purpose of this video talking about it, but boy, oh boy, is there some good changes in there. They said that they were going to give us a roadmap. Like, Bungie, wake up, man. We love your game. I fucking love Destiny 2 and I love playing it. But like, if you're just gonna just keep making these mistakes, like, what's the point? I'm cool. I am so glad that Arc Raiders is out right now. Because guess what? Arc Raiders is gonna get me to Renegades. Renegades will be hyped. Cool. Give me a lightsaber. Give me a new dungeon. Let me go get the solo flawless. Let me go take my community through the dungeon, because again, you do know that the lightsaber is tied to that dungeon. A lot of you need to make sure that you own Renegades. There is no dungeon key, but you'll need to own Renegades to get that lightsaber upgrade. They already said that the lightsaber upgrades are tied to that dungeon. So that's going to give me content. It's going to give me stuff to do. But you got to stop with the slop, Bungie. You're not talking about it in your TWIDs. You're having DMG be the community punching bag. He has to go on Twitter and apologize for the company. You better give that man a raise. Buy him a fat fat car or something, Pete Parsons could hit him up with a bonus, even though he ain't there no more. I mean, dude, it shouldn't be Dylan. It should be the company. The leadership's messed up. You guys got to do something. I just wanted to yap about this event. Sorry if I made anybody uncomfortable, but if you're wondering why your scores aren't high, I just wanted to explain it to you and break it down. Hopefully Bungie addresses this. If not, hey, try and get your helmets unlocked. GG. We'll see you in Renegades.